BFCM edition from Cloudways, and we are the Cloudways Mavericks. You are here with myself, Mr. Lee Matthew Jackson. We have the one, the only Mr. Yancock, and of course, Peacher Neri here, and you are most welcome. Before we crack on, I would love to know if you are watching us live by giving us a few emojis. If you are watching the replay, then let us know by typing in the words replay. And if you get to the very end of this episode, I would encourage you to share your biggest takeaway from everything that we talked about, and also share one thing that you changed about your website as a result of the things we discovered. What we are going to do over the next hour is look at 3 websites. These are 3 e-commerce websites, and we're going to highlight what has been done really well, but we're also, from our experience, going to share some advice on what could be improved. And that's very much focused around things like conversion, user experience, promotion, and all of that sort of good stuff. We've had 3 websites submitted by you, the community, so thank you so much. And I would remind you that if you want us to look at your websites, then please do submit them way in advance, because we have to go through a process of looking through them all and shortlisting each and every month. And if you submitted something 2 months ago, unfortunately it's no longer on the list, so it needs to go back. So submit it every single month if you really want us to review your website. So before we carry on, let's do a very quick introduction from each one of us so you know how to connect with us. Peacher, let's start with you. Oh, you're muted, I think, or your sound has lost. So Peacher is Peacher Neri from Design for Geeks. Are you there, Peacher?
I think I am.
Yep. There you are. Yep.
Great. So I'm a bit challenged today. My technology today seems to be held together by string, kind of literally. So forgive me if there are, but you know, my colleagues, I'm sure, will make up for that. Anyway, yes. Hello.
Hello. We also have Jan Koch. Jan, say hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey friends, I host the WP Agency Summit, one of the leading WordPress community events in the space.
Awesome. And I am Lee, the host of the Agency Trailblazer podcast. So we're going to do things a little bit differently today. We're going to start with Jan, then go on to Peacher, and then wrap up with me. And the idea here is to start off with performance, then talk about the design, the user experience, etc., and then wrap up with some of the content and the social channels, and then move on to the next. So our first website, which Jan is going to lead for us, is the-rugs.com. So Jan, would you like to share your screen, and let's get crack-a-lacking?
Yep, let's do it. So before we dive into GT metrics, let's briefly look at the rugs.com. They sell, as the name suggests, rugs. One thing that comes up straight away, given that we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up, and that Xmas is around the door too, is there are 2 things that I'm going to say for both shops, and probably Peacher and Lee will agree with me here. And that is, firstly, there's no reference to any of these special events on the homepage, so there's no taking advantage of the craze that we are about to enter, and there is no date by when you have to order to make your delivery arrive before or at Christmas. So those are 2 very important things. And then we also have to do some more housekeeping here, and that is, with the traffic spikes that you can estimate, you want to prepare your server for this. The worst thing that can happen is that your website goes down during Black Friday because for some reason you have 1,000 concurrent visitors on the shop, which obviously everybody wants to have if you have the stock for this, or if you have print on demand or something like that. Scale up your server. If you're doing an ad campaign, if you're doing an email blast, whatever, if you do something for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas, scale up your server. The beautiful thing with Cloudways is you can scale it up for those times, and then after Black Friday, Cyber Monday is over and the demand goes down a little bit, you just scale the server back. You clone it to a smaller size, connect the domain, and you are done essentially. So that's a really, really straightforward process. Also, let's go through one of the order processes here. Let's take this Montana collection rugs. Let's pick one of those. I want to show you something. I want to demonstrate potential issues with the shopping cart right now. So for example, I'm not taking to the cart, which is something that can definitely hurt your conversions. I have no idea, or we all have no idea about the average order value, how many orders or how many items consist an order of usually. But I would imagine that it's rare that people order more than one rug. I think on average it will be one rug, maybe two. And you have to view the basket manually or go to checkout. I would recommend you either take people directly to the cart or even skip the cart directly, go to the checkout. And then this is the cart. I would streamline this design a lot. I'm a little bit taking over Peacha's part here, so I will leave a lot for Peacha to say, but I would probably get rid of the menu in the cart because you want to have the focus on the checkout rather than having people search for other products at this stage. It's nice that you can see the flat rate shipping before you have to enter the address, but when we go to checkout, there is something that you want to be aware of, and that is you need to be able to capture the abandoned carts as soon as possible. So the one thing you need on your checkout page is you have to have the email field on top of this form. This is very, very important because you want to be able to capture the email address that if I were to leave the cart or the checkout page right now, the rugs would be able to retarget me with an email campaign and just remind me, because life happens. Maybe my daughter wakes up and I have to take care of my daughter right now, and I didn't intend to leave the checkout process. I really want to buy this rug, but I just can't. And then if life goes on, I forget about this rug. So you really need to be able to capture the abandoned carts. And one good thing to do this is to move the email field on top of the billing details. The same is true for the other shops that we are looking at. I will probably not repeat myself because we run out of time by that point. So let's dive into the performance real quick. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see that GTmetrix looks a bit different. They have the GTmetrix grade instead of Google PageSpeed and YSlow scores. And they have the Web Vitals, which is newly, I think they rolled out the update yesterday. So this is really, really new stuff. And it sometimes doesn't work. So be prepared for that when you run GTmetrix over your own site. And one thing that I want to highlight is these Web Vitals section. The LCP is 6.4 seconds, and LCP stands for largest contentful paint. So that is the one element you have on your site that is the largest, and LCP measures how long it takes to render this element on the page. And you can see in the speed visualization here that for 5 seconds, nothing happened on this page, which probably hurts the conversions quite a bit. So not just probably, it will hurt the conversion. So if you get that down to like 1 second, 0.5 seconds, that is where I would estimate you should be, rather than 5.4 seconds.
Is there any particular hack for that to show at least something?
It is something that we've spoken about in the other events where you have to look at what is causing the delay. Is it images being too big? Is it resources not being compressed?
Also, the server response was one of them as well, wasn't it?
Server response is a big issue. So, for example, GTmetrix now has this section called Top Issues. And what comes up right here is that images are really, really big, like 300 kilobytes for an image, which is a cached one, it seems, because the URL is quite tricky. So image optimization, especially for WooCommerce, is a big one. Then there is Tidio Chat, which I assume was a chat bubble we saw in the bottom right corner on the site, which should be loaded asynchronously or maybe even after the website rendered, not beforehand. And then it goes on with images, and you can just work through this page. The review snippet that you have on here is running for 1.7 seconds, which really isn't
No, that's
Isn't
not
that
cool.
great?
They're also using fast press, that's PHAST press,
Yeah.
for that image compression. So I think what they're doing is uploading large images, and that fast press will compress an image to under 512 kilobytes. But I don't think that's necessarily great, is it?
It's not. You
Yeah.
you would want to have the images below 100 kilobytes each,
Yeah.
probably even smaller. You can also, the thing is, they all use JPEG images. Try some next level or some next generation formats like WebP, for example. There are even image formats that are newer than WebP that you can try, because the browser support is getting a lot better these days for this stuff. And then you just want to work through the recommendations that GTmetrix says. You can Google a way around it, and also you can just leave a comment below this video and ask for advice. Tag one of us if you want us to jump in. Then we are happy to have a look at this. But so the LCP out of the way, the next thing that you want to look at is the TBT, which is the total blocking time, which is how much or for how long the website is blocked during the page loading process. That means that during this time, the website visitor cannot do something with the page. Even if he was seeing the page, he couldn't interact, he couldn't engage with the page, which is a really frustrating experience. And as you can see, GTmetrix recommends below 150 milliseconds, and we are at 4.6 seconds. So this goes back to all the images and all the third-party scripts that you have, which you definitely want to look at, because these web vitals will become really important ranking factors in the future. Google already announced that they will focus UX next year in a big update. I think in May they will roll out another big update for UX factors to influence rankings. So at least by then, you need to have the website up to par, and you want to get it below like 3 seconds on average, I would assume. And we can also point you to people who can help you with this. If you cannot do this yourself, just tag us in the comments, and we are happy to chime in, to share our thoughts, and to recommend friends if we have the right people in our network. But that's really the most important things I wanted to touch on for the rug.
That's really helpful. Peacher, how's your internet doing? Shall we try a share screen and take a look at some of the design elements?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Good. Let's share the screen. It's mysterious because, like I said, my internet is really fast. But anyway, it's helping us, I hope. So I have to say that. Can you hear me?
Sorry. There we go. Yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Cool.
My problem.
So,
my fault. There.
I have to say this. That's all right. This site has got loads that's really good about it. So look how many ways there are to get in touch with them. Contact us right here. I haven't actually clicked it, but I hope it's a phone number. Is it a phone number? Should we check? I'm not gonna, because we don't know what's gonna happen to my. Okay, then any questions? I love the way they put it. Any questions? It makes me think of any questions. info@therugs.com. Then the Rugs here, login or register. Then Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, everything. It's really quite comprehensive. If you want to find out more about them, there's lots here. I can see by this that they have a wish list. I love myself a wish list. I think wish lists are great. And then what I really like that they've done is here where they say thick, fluffy, love it, easy to clean, educational. You already have this. Categories are very useful if you're looking for a rug. So if I want a contemporary rug, I suppose this is kind of this type of style, kind of geometric and a little bit sort of a clean look. If you want it thick and fluffy and warm, then you should go and check this out. Easy to clean, on the other hand, if you have kids, or again, if you have kids, educational. So really, really good. And they haven't succumbed to the temptation of using sliders, but the thing is that with sliders, even though you've heard me rant against sliders previously, With e-commerce, it's actually a situation where you could have a slider. It makes sense to have a slider when you're selling products. That is the only place where actually it has a meaning. And then responsible free UK shipping, so that's good. I mean, I'd have to immediately find out whether they send to Spain and how much it would cost. Price promise, the reviews here are really good. I would even maybe put them, I don't know, maybe it's easy to find. As soon as you scroll down, you already have the proof, which is something that you always ask for, Lee, as well, don't you? You always want that. So that makes us both happy. So right now, I would say that actually, and then if I'm like, okay, well, I don't want contemporary, I don't want a fluffy, I don't want easy to clean. What else is there? And I can see up here what is there, and I can choose by color, which I think is great. I would probably, and here there are more categories, different ways for me to choose. I would probably really like to have a size filter, because actually at the moment I am in the market for a rug. So let's go, let's just see Moroccan, what happens if I go there. As I always do, I'm just replicating a real experience. Okay, so Moroccan has even more bordered, outdoor, round and oval, bathroom, living room. Look how many there are, amazing. And then look how clear it is here that I can go back if I want to. That's quite clever, I really like that. And did I ask for size filter? There you go, filter by size, and it's in centimeters. They really want to make Picha happy today. I think that they definitely did that. So where's my color filter? So, they're here, more filters here.
On the top
so
right,
maybe
So is that a good placement, or would it be?
I was about to say
I
that
think
you
were
would
going to
probably
say.
want the filters all on the same side, because it's a bit, but I am thinking that probably maybe clients tell them the most, we want the size, and therefore they made it sort of easier to find here. But let's look at the other filters here. Color and design, that's quite nice. So I would go for vintage, because I'm that kind of girl. And I can't add another filter. It says, okay, so I have to go and go back into the filter before I can add one. There's no red, so I'm going to go for black then. And there's one, so either I like it or I don't. So let's say that I really like it. I like this. Let's go and find it. So washable, is that everything here? Delivery time, quite good that it's here. Preview size, I like that. What's going to happen if we do that? Try me. Then various sizes, add to basket, compare, add to wish list, share. There's a lot of choices. What do you feel, guys? I feel like I could argue that the way it's laid out on the page could maybe be a little bit tidier. Actually, it's tidying itself up now.
That was an example of the really slow loading
how
time.
Slow it is. So that's a shame. That is really something that they need to look into for sure.
Yeah.
So
I think the buy now button really disappears.
Yeah, it does. I was about to say that. It's good.
That's built into WooCommerce. A lot of people don't override that styling. Isn't that when you tick the box for allowing Apple Pay or something like that? I'm sure that's what that is.
I think it depends on the payment gateway, but yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But then when you scroll down, Picha, there is one thing that I really, really like. I'm curious to see if that is on this one too. I'm on a different rug right now, and that has a size guide with a graphical representation of how large a rug would be.
Is it this button, preview size?
No, it's a separate section on that page.
Shall I show your screen?
There
there it is. You found it.
I love it.
That is really nicely done.
Honestly, I think there's a lot that's great about this site, and also related products, which is quite important to have.
Yeah.
Is the central text working for you? Because I know that's usually a faux pas, but under those images. So scroll back for those related products, which are quite far down, aren't they? Is that central text a good use?
Never gonna like it. But I thought that for once I wouldn't mention it. I thought
Well,
that for once
we're just used to it.
it.
I thought I'd preempt.
Were you like worried? She hasn't said anything yet.
I was like, oh my word, what's happening? Is this Peacher?
Is she feeling okay?
Are you all right,
Is she a bit under the weather?
There is one section I would add to that, though, and that is the recently viewed products. Instead of just showing the related ones, show me the ones I've viewed, because I'm somebody who views like 50 products on the shop before deciding on which one to buy, and I want to be able to go back to the ones that I've seen.
That is such a good point. That is a very, very good point. So when you have an online shop, make sure that you have a recently viewed products widget rather than related products. Because also with related products, I'm never sure what the criteria is, and sometimes it's your criteria. You think it's related, but it's not. So I can tell that I think the related is from the color. But in fact, they're all modern. They're not vintage, and I am looking for a vintage carpet. So, and also another point that I have to make in terms of the interface is that this is way too long, too long. It needs to be like half this, especially at this type size, because it's quite tiny. It's a little bit too small for me, and it goes on. The line goes on forever. It should be around 65 characters. This is easily double what it should be. So definitely make that much shorter. But the description is really nice. I mean, I would make it bigger, because you can't go wrong when you make text a little bit bigger. Look, this is quite good. We've all learned from Amazon, haven't we? So the countdown for when you can, to make sure that you get it by the 25th of November is really good, I think. So I very much, what's this? Okay, is this to add the product? So if I want to buy
that's the quantity, yeah.
Yeah, it's not very clear, because also I haven't chosen a size yet. So let's say that I want this size, out of stock. Okay, so
that's also something. It shouldn't be there if it's out of stock.
And they're all out of stock. So, this is not very good UX, is it? Because
that's my exit point.
Yeah,
normally
from the site.
Yeah,
because you've let me go through all this, and you have not yet you're only now letting me know that it's out of stock. Why is it even coming up in the search? So this is where normally I would just go rubbish and leave, because I'm just thinking it's going to happen again. There was no other indication beforehand that this was completely out of stock. So I'm ready to buy, and I can't buy, and this is going to happen again, because if I choose another rug, there is no guarantee that it won't happen again. So let's actually try, because I actually wanted to see what the experience was on the once it's in the cart. So let's hope that. So I'm just going to go to the first one that is there, because I want to see whether that happens again.
I like the animation, though, that you get a different perspective.
The animation is very nice, not intrusive at all. So again, here, let's see. So it's taking a while to load, despite my extremely fast internet. But
you have over 100 meg, don't you? You got pretty impressive internet.
And that's very slow, because usually it's 500 upload. It's symmetrical. Sorry, I just bragged. Whoa. See, again, out of stock.
Maybe the color indicates that it is a little bit grayed out. Maybe that is the supposed to be indicator for being out of stock.
That doesn't work for me either, because it comes up out here. Why is it not written here, out of stock? How am I going to find a rug this way? I can't find a rug. So let's try this one. I want to see what the cart experience is, and I'm not able to, because no one is telling me when.
Well, whilst you do that, how about you try and find something? I'm going to just share a couple of bits so that we keep going. and then we can come back to the card experience. If you try, I'm just sharing my screen right now, folks, and I just want to have a quick look through. So for me, with regards to the content, I noticed a lot of faux pas. There are a lot of spelling errors throughout. For example, things like atmosphere rather than atmosphere. And I did notice that in the blogs read very much like they've been outsourced to a third party and they're not really proofread. So these are the sorts of blogs where people will say lots of extra words for the sake of saying lots of extra words, which can tend to be a bit of an SEO thing, which means they're not really great to read, but also the English is not correct. So for example, here it says relatively easier to wove, which cuts down on mistakes. So it's using kind of a past tense in a present tense. So it's not necessarily the best copy. So I would certainly encourage you to take a look at this copy and to also go through and have a look at the spelling errors. Now, Peter mentioned about learning from Amazon. So yes, don't have your products that are not in stock visible, but also there are other things you could be adding. Not only could you be using this new, but you could also be using things like most popular or best seller or people who, all those sorts of different signs to encourage and to entice people to take a look. The other thing I've noticed as well is that you're not getting much engagement at all on your Instagram, and you could be. I feel like you're missing a trick here. You're getting an average of about 50 likes, which is great. You got 25 likes on this one, a few others you have 50 likes, but essentially you are showcasing images and then just giving a code for people to go and look, which is great because people can't click through. But it would be great if you could start asking questions on social media, maybe making use as well of the Instagram stories a little bit more and seeing if you can get a little bit of interaction and people sharing. You've got 5,000 followers, which is phenomenal, so it feels like that's a little bit of a missed trick. Can you create some sort of engagement plan with your audience, especially via Instagram, because that is such a visual platform. Peter, are you ready for us to switch back and have a look at the cart? Yeah. Okay. So let's switch you over to you. Great.
So this is in stock. Hooray! So add to basket. I actually already added one to the basket.
See that the color is different?
I quite like this.
It's a nice color.
Sorry?
See that the color is different for the variations
that are in stock?
Yeah, it's
not grayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But
it's not clear.
However,
it's not
it's
intuitive.
Not good enough. Because if all of them are grayed out, I don't know that there's a difference. And even when I do see, then I still don't know because I'm not the designer, so I don't know. And I should be told earlier that it's not. Anyway, so I quite like the way that the basket comes out like that. But then now, where is it? Okay, it's up here. And I think that the little slide in should have stayed. I should be the one that decides to
close,
to close it. So now if I go here, it's a little bit smaller. So view basket, that's really good that it's there. View basket. I agree with what you were saying earlier, Jan, that this is too much. It's very distracting. Now all I need in the cart is this, maybe a logo here or a back button, something like that. But I don't need all that. So let's see what else is here. Update basket. I'm able to change the quantities. That all works for me. I'm fine with all that. And then buy now or proceed to checkout. So I will never understand the difference. What's the difference?
The buy now is a third-party payment gateway. And proceed to checkout gives you the full experience. It's just buy now or Amazon Pay is faster. Amazon Pay specifically because it just pulls all the billing information, like address and stuff like that from Amazon.
Okay.
Do you think, Jan, that should be higher up? Because that's like I would pick Amazon Pay for the speed of it anyway. For me personally,
I'm not familiar with that buy now function, so maybe I would switch that. But maybe that's a popular service in the UK.
True.
I'm not sure about that.
I've never used that one.
Whatever. I mean, either way, it is really. Oh, they know where I am. Ooh, I never like that. I'm also using a VPN. How do they know? Anyway, this is confusing. What's the difference? How am I supposed to know as a user the difference between buy now or proceed to checkout. Amazon Pay clear enough, but the difference between buy now and proceed to checkout is there isn't one. Okay, so can you see the, actually, no, you can't see that. Yes, you can't see that, but there's a window has come up where they have my contact info. They have my phone number.
That's a good job we can't see it then.
I know.
Yeah.
How? Why?
Unless it's your autofill utilizing those fields.
No. It is quite scary. I don't know how this site
You've been
knows
buying
everything
rugs in your
about me.
sleep. That's what it is.
I haven't. Anyway,
Your VPN is buying rugs for you.
I'm actually a bit freaked out by this. I'm really not happy about it. How do they have my phone number? Anyway, I think that would be my main recommendation out of all this is, if an item is out of stock, do not have it come up in the search and make it really way clearer, especially for all the options that are out. Then it needs to be made clearer. Otherwise, you lose me. I just go somewhere else.
Yeah, and all
But
those buy
There are
options.
some
Lots of
really
things done very
low-hanging
well.
fruits. Yeah, and I think there are some very low-hanging fruits on this page where you can easily improve the conversion rate. That is, to add what Peter just said, streamline the checkout process would be the biggest one for me. So that is, make the add to basket on the product page much more prominent. Probably get the reviews. If a product has reviews, display them directly on the product page. Don't hide them in the default WooCommerce tab as it usually is. I'm just on a rug that has 4 reviews with 5 out of 5 stars, which is insanely important to show directly to increase the conversions. And then on the cart page, as we've said, remove everything that is distracting from bringing people to the checkout process. So just as Peter demonstrated, remove the entire header, just add the logo to that black bar, and then you should see immediate improvements in conversions.
Ladies and gentlemen,
guys,
we interrupt this broadcast with an announcement. The announcement is we have an exciting giveaway. It's the Grand Ecommerce giveaway. You can find out more information over on bit.ly/Golf Echo Golf 2020, because Cloudways have partnered with some of the biggest names in the industry to bring you the tools, the themes, and the plugins you need to make 2021 a great success for your business. And also, folks, from the rug, if you were watching, there are some great tools on there that will help you do some of the stuff that we've all been explaining for your website. Each entry that you guys put in will get you closer to winning a big chunk of this year's cake, which is £100,000 plus a giveaway of amazing tools. You've got 16 days to take part, so we recommend you visit bit.ly/Golf Echo Golf 2020.
Can you scroll down a little bit and walk us through, or show the categories of tools?
Oh, look at these. So we've got...
It's insane. And zoom in a little bit. I can hardly read this.
That's all right.
I'm getting old.
You are, aren't you, on your 4K? So, folks, you can see here we have design. We've got Wave Video. That's something that we use for a lot of our social media. We've got a whole load of drop shipping tools here, which I know nothing about, so I shall add nothing in there. There's a whole load of extensions that you can be adding. We have hosting packages, of course, from Cloudways, which we all highly recommend. I do not have a £10,000 a month bill, by the way, just letting you know there. There is learning and development. We have marketing and optimization. We have my favorite category, which is your plugins, and there are some great plugins as well from WP Developer that you should be checking out. We have process management. I would highly recommend you look at your CRM management, especially with e-commerce. You want all of that integrated, and I know a lot of these tools will integrate with your e-commerce platform. Sales and support, security and privacy. Maybe you want to look at that one, Peter, for the address issue.
It's great to see web arts in there.
Yes, definitely. SEO tools, and finally, themes. Carry on, Peter.
I just want to say that Emre Eza in the comments solved that mystery when the freak out of the site knowing all my... It's Google Pay. It was Google Pay that had come up. So I did tell Google Pay. I did. That's why they have all my details.
Hey, the rugs, all is forgiven. Peter is not coming for you, just so you know. So we are now moving on to our next site because time is of the essence. And our next site is Nectar, Body, and Beth. Shall I pop your screen up, Jan, and you can take over?
Yep, let's do it. And I think my
Boom.
camera is frozen again. Oh no,
Nope,
it's
you're all good.
just
I can see you
delayed here
moving.
a little bit. Yep. Alrighty, so this is a beauty page, and I don't want to take up the stuff that Lee and Picha are going to share this time, so I'll jump directly into GT Metrics. And what we can see right here is that it is slightly faster, but it still has a lot of room for improvement, I would say. So the largest contentful paint is 2.2 seconds. To show you guys what the largest contentful paint is, if you look at this page, it is quite straightforward to identify this big slider, which is essentially the revolution slider with just one slide coming up. If I inspect this, it says, oh, it's a swiper actually. So it's not revolution slider, it seems, but it is a swiper slider from Visual Composer. So that is the largest contentful paint. That's the largest piece of content you have on the website. And it takes 2.2 seconds according to the Web Vitals to render this, which is something that you want to optimize, because also what this causes is it causes a lot of content layout shift. I think that is what CLS stands for exactly. And you want to avoid this because content layout shift says how much a website changes its layout while it is loading. So it's very confusing. I have, I think with main WP, I have this issue that when the list of pages that I manage loads, I want to click on one page before it loads, and then it adds a little notification on top of the list, and I immediately click on the wrong list because the entire list is getting pushed down by that. And that is what content layout shift measures. And as GT Metrics suggests, you want to have this below 0.1, which is a fictional number. They've made that up. But you can see that this is quite high. It's 9 times that. And luckily, GT Metrics gives us a good list of tools and a good list of sources where this is coming from. So the slider, it even gives us the exact HTML code that causes the shift. So that is really, really helpful. The slider is by far the biggest contributor to the shifting layout, because the layout below the slider renders, and then while the slider loads, the layout is rendering already. And then at some point at 2.2 seconds, when this slider is finally loaded, it pops up above of all the content that is already loaded and just pushes everything down. That is the issue that you have here on this page that you want to solve. And you can do this by adding a placeholder background image, for example. You could upload a low resolution background image that is loading a lot quicker than the full res version, but it takes up that space already. It blocks the space. It removes the layout shifting in the loading process. And then we have essentially just the slider impacting this. So when you scroll down right here, it is the text from the slider. Shop the goodness is the button in the slider, and then we have another H2 element that doesn't do anything right here. So the slider is the biggest issue in content layout shift. And also we do have render blocking resources, but honestly at 50 milliseconds and 74 milliseconds, I wouldn't worry about those. You did a good job optimizing the render blocking thing. I would just look at let's go into the waterfall real quick. Let's see where the pages is losing its speed. So there is ads by Google, page ads. I would assume this is for tracking conversions. I don't see a reason why you want to have Google ads on an e-commerce page. So this is taking 1 second, which is something that you might want to look into. Maybe you can host this file locally, because it is 354 milliseconds blocking the loading time, which is something that you don't want to have. That is 0.3 of a second is noticeable. Then you have another third-party script for typekit. So that's the fonts, which is adding half a second to the loading time. And that is also causing layout shift, because the fonts will load unstyled and then they will change once the typekit script is loaded, which is something that you need to be aware of. And let's see what else sticks out. Chimp static, 1.1 seconds, which is 950 milliseconds waiting time. Nothing happens there. That's 1 second waiting time. So definitely look into either the implementation of chimp static, or I would just go for an alternative tool, really. I would just try to find something else if it's not too much of a hassle, or at least talk to the developers to see what you can do about this, because 1 second waiting time really is ridiculous. And then you have the usual WooCommerce problem, which is the admin Ajax requests, all the internal processing WooCommerce has to do in the background of the page, like managing all the orders, dealing with stock updates and stuff like that. That takes up server resources. So you might want to look into optimizing your server. That is cleaning the database, checking the monitoring stats of the server, see if the CPU and RAM is big enough, and just scale the server as needed. Yep, that's really the most important aspects here.
Awesome, thank you. Peter, I am putting your screen up, and you are next.
Right, so slider revolution is just not a very good idea, is it? I mean, I don't know.
It's a different slider, but the same approach, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's just why, I mean, again, like I said earlier, with e-commerce, you might actually, it's the only case where actually a slider may work, has a reason for existing, because rather than being unable to make a decision on what you want to show, you're showing products, and obviously you've got more than one product, so it makes sense. But if you're not using the slider function, you shouldn't have it, because also the copy that goes on it has no SEO value because it's part of the image, unless I'm wrong. That's true, isn't it? So I quite like clean beauty is, I mean, as a heading, maybe, I don't know if anybody would search for that, but ethically sourced, cruelty-free and skin-safe products for the whole family is a good introduction. I know exactly what I'm here for, what I'm going to get from the site. So I think
that is text, by the way, for SEO.
Is it?
It's
okay,
just
cool.
yeah,
Good.
you just can't select it because it's all built into the slide.
It is. Oh well, yeah. That's a good thing. That is, in that case, that's good. However, in terms of the speed, yeah, I mean, use it if you have to use it, then use it. So
it's also the same slide. If you just keep swiping it, it's the same content.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
So again, here, way too long. This should be a third of, or less than half than what it is, this paragraph. Welcome to the home of the Blondini Purple Shampoo Bar. I hope can you hear the music? I hope not. There's someone outside. Okay, good. So, but I really like this. I'm intrigued what the Blondini Purple Shampoo Bar is, but I use purple shampoo because I've got grey hair. So that's something I would be interested in. I don't know whether they would send to Spain, but this looks great, really, really interesting. And they've got the right categories: hair, face, natural soap. So that's what it looks like, and it's solid shampoo, like in a soap type shape, which is something that I'm seeing a lot. I'm bombarded by ads of things like this on Instagram. So in that sense, that's really good. I quite like the image. It's sort of neutral tones, but I quite like that it's not in your face. I love the shells. I love the sea, and I don't mind at all that it's not like an incredibly nice day. I think I quite like this. It's sort of intimate, don't you think? It just feels natural. It feels nice. So let's go into this. Let's go and see hair. What's going on? Premium, no plastic. Premium plastic-free hair care is here. Your crowning glory is safe with nectar. And you notice my restraint today. Notice how I haven't said anything about that yet. So no, do not send. I mean, this in this case, I will actually say something, because can you see a shape here? More than reading, I see the shape. I see like two vessels,
8
to
for me.
plates, something like that. So it makes it quite hard to read for me. So I would always avoid.
What
But
what do
let's
you
say-
think from a UX perspective on putting the text above the images rather than below it, rather or above the products?
That is it's a good point. The thing is that by now we all know to scroll, and it kind of says what it is. So no plastic bottles in sight. So that's something that would really, it would make me buy. So I kind of think that there's a reason for it to be there. So I don't mind that it's there actually, because it just tells me. So, and it says Blondini purple shampoo for blondes and grey hair. Perfect, that's me. Blondes and grey, fantastic. So I'm gonna go here, select options. One thing that I would do though, because you're telling me free shipping over $50 to New Zealand addresses, but you're not telling me whether you're gonna send to Spain. And you should really tell me now, because otherwise I'm gonna go, how do I find out when whether I can get it or not? So I have to go, or especially formulated, say goodbye to yellow tones with a really purple solid shampoo bar for blonde and grey hair. I mean, you got me. I'm gonna buy this. Basically I want this. So I actually don't need to read. I know enough. No more plastic bottles. Good for grey hair. That's it. I want it. Packaging. Choose an option. Great. This is really after my own heart. So linen bag. That's really nice. Sample size travel tin. It would be nice to see what it is, but I can't see that. So I'm gonna say linen bag. Hang on. Sorry, I was here. So linen bag, add to cart, but I add to wish list. I always want a wish list because I often use it. But add to cart. Let's see how can I get this or not? Because I might buy it. No, I won't, because I don't want for anyone to see my info. But oops. Okay, so it has been added to my cart. I don't like this very much. That it doesn't make any sense, because you brought me back to the page to the product where I was.
Looks like a WooCommerce default, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't like it, because view carts now. You're making me. That it wouldn't make sense. You should actually. What you should do is show me the conditioner straight away, because that's what I'm gonna buy. I want the conditioner as well. But still, how do I find out? Will you send it to me? So the point is that I can tell that they're very, very focused just on, maybe they know, maybe it's just a fluke that I'm seeing this. I'm not meant to see this. Maybe they're very, very just New Zealand based. But can I get this? I still don't know whether I can get this. So if I proceed to checkout, I'll find out.
They are wasting so much space on top of those pages.
Yeah, so much. That is way too much. That's
Way too
definitely
much.
way too
I
much.
love white space, but that is too much.
Too much, because there's no point to it.
Yeah, and
really.
They only
also-
ship locally, by the way, just so you know.
Where did you find out?
It says shipping North Island. There's no option to select anything else, so I think they are
True,
just
yeah.
focusing on the
Well, there
location.
is-
Australia, New
Well, there
Zealand,
is
UK,
here.
and
Australia,
US.
New Zealand, UK,
Oh.
and US. Well, that's so
I'm
not
not seeing that.
not Europe.
Does that
Shipping,
change
let's
anything?
see. Yeah, let's just be patient. It still says shipping North Island.
North Island. Yeah, so that country and region probably needs removing or hiding if they're not going anywhere further.
That is very
Okay,
cheap
so
shipping from New
ship to
Zealand
it.
to the UK.
It would
Yeah.
be. So let's say. So it just I'm okay. I'm not gonna. 'cause
Now
we need to
shipping
get Lee on it.
updated, I think.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not updated, so I'm not gonna fill everything up. It would be
Sure,
boring
yeah.
for everyone. But that's something that I would definitely make sure that you. Oops, my address coming up. It's something that I would definitely make sure you sort out, make it clear. Because actually, I was going to buy. I definitely would have bought this, and I mean also especially in times where a lot of the world is in lockdown. I don't think it would be easy. I mean, it would not be easy at any time, but I would have bought this. I definitely want something like this, so I'm going to look for it where I live now.
And just one thing before I forget about this. After Peacha would have bought this, you should have presented her with a post-purchase upsell.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
if she bought a cream, add a conditioner or something like that, I have no idea. But you have to have an upsell if you really want to maximize the revenue.
Totally, because this is shampoo for blondes and greys. I'm going to want a conditioner for. I've got long hair. I can't live without conditioner. So that would be my next purchase. And without a doubt, I would buy it. So it's a missed opportunity otherwise. But I'll hand it over to you, Lee, because I'm aware of time.
No worries. Well, let's carry on taking a quick look through this. So, I mean, I don't have hair. Under this hat, I am actually completely bald. But I do have some really good and exciting feedback, I believe, about this website. First of all, just a quick one. This is the exact same slider, so this might as well just be an image or not slide, which is great. But I think you guys have really got a handle on great imagery, which is gorgeous. And you've got a handle on who your target market is, I believe. Your target market are people who really appreciate expensive quality products that are ethically sourced. And if we go all the way down here, these are a few of your key elements down here that we would say is sustainable packaging, cruelty-free, palm oil-free, vegan-friendly. Palm oil-free is one of those big ones I'm aware of that people will very often talk with. You also have here some of the social proof that other people have shared their experiences as well, which is great. And you've got at least 3, which is a good sign. You also talk a little bit about how your soaps are made. All on the homepage, I am seeing some great content here, which is really helping to build your brand image and to give me this feeling of real high quality, of care, and of attention. So I am really, really impressed. I love this made in New Zealand seal, especially if I'm in New Zealand, I'm totally in, because I am supporting a New Zealand-based business. If I'm locked down in New Zealand, this is going to be something I want to be a part of, which is great. You also have here as well just a little bit of extra information, which I like, and your social media profiles. It would be fantastic if you could get them up at the top somewhere. I don't know where Peacha might recommend, but hiding your social media profiles away from everybody is not the best activity, because I think you guys have got a secret weapon, and I'm going to tell you what that is in a minute. So anyway, I can get access to your different areas. As a bloke, I'm obviously going to go and click on men and go and take a look at what's going on in there. And the first thing I noticed that is missing is there is nothing straight away for my beard, because that's very popular right now, is beard stuff. And I want to get to my beard stuff, and my beard combs all the way down here, and my beard oils down there as well. So I don't know how popular different products are, but I would recommend take a look at the products that you have. What are the most popular searches? What are the most popular purchases? Because some of these might need to be up at the top. And I am biased, and I would say that beards are way, way more important than shampoo for hair, because I don't have any. So for me, I don't know. Have a look at the weighting, see if you can put some of the more important stuff up there, or if you have popular products, can you promote those on the homepage? But that's not your secret weapon. You see, I believe your secret weapon is actually dogs. Because people love dogs so freaking much, and dogs are so cute and they're cuddly, and people love dogs more than they love themselves, which is absolutely insane. People will spend more on their dog than themselves, and I think you guys have got some great products in here. I really love the poop bags. I tried not to laugh during the episode, but also if we take a look at your social media profile, you are not getting too much engagement on the regular day-to-day stuff, but the moment you post about dogs, especially this little fella hidden away in the in the snow, you get responses. So you've actually had I've just lost it now. So you've had 4 responses. I know that doesn't sound like a lot necessarily, but sorry, Peach, I'm just going to mute you because I'm getting a bit of feedback. So that doesn't testing. Yeah, that's gone now. So that doesn't necessarily sound like a lot initially, but if you consider that you've currently got 1,570 followers, I imagine you've been posting content and quotes, etc. Your quotes also get more responses than just some of the general images that you've been putting up here. But what I would recommend is maybe use some of those things. Use those popular products. Use those quotes to try and ask questions, get people to talk, but also use your secret weapon, which I do believe is those cute dogs. Have a look at those hashtags for dogs, see whether or not you can kind of capitalize on that, because dog owners also need to care for themselves as well. So whilst they come along saying, holy moly, look at this stuff for my little pooch, I'm going to have some great bags, I'm going to have some great shampoo. I think there was a paw, what was there? There was a paw product as well. Paw balm. Yeah, that was it. Paw balm, which I think is really great. And you can play on winter right now on social media, especially, well, I don't know if it gets, it probably does get cold in New Zealand, because you guys get the same weather as here in the UK. So you probably have cold, you probably have frost, you probably have, dogs with issues with paws, etc. So I could be totally wrong. I could be way off, but I really feel like
I agree with you.
Dogs,
I agree with
dogs
you.
on
And
social
the
media.
product descriptions of the dog products are insanely good. They are insanely good. The only thing I would change on this layout is I would try to get the product pictures to be more connected between the dogs and the product itself.
Look at the doggy. Yes, I would totally agree.
Can I just say, before my feedback drives you crazy, also another thing to point out is how nice the packaging is. So cool. Really, really good branding on the packaging. I really love it. I mean, I would use this. It's not usually for the dog.
I totally agree. Quality packaging again, because that's the quality and the great imagery. What Jan was saying as well about the usage. And I would actually recommend that across a few other areas as well. So not just like a paw having the paw balm put on, which would literally is melting my heart right now. But equally, if there's a man using a beard scrub or beard oil or whatever, why the heck not have a glorious beard and a picture of a man actually using the product, which would be fantastic.
Have a look. When you go back to the dog products, there's one example that really highlights this point, I think. When you go to the shampoo.
Oh, yeah, don't do one for the poop bags, by the way. Let's not do pictures of the poop bags in use. Sorry, which one? Dog shampoo?
Third one.
This one?
In the top row. Yep. And then the dog picture. This is insanely good. It's insanely good. And just make that more prominent. Add the packaging image on there, and you're golden.
Yeah. That should also, I believe, be on Instagram. You could use that
needs to be.
with some sort of caption this. I mean, caption this is one of my favorite things for Instagram.
Yeah. And they could do amazing Instagram stories, because stories are absolutely the thing at the moment, because even when you do a new post, you should do a story I'm seeing people who are really good at Instagram that do that all the time. They do a story with their latest post. And it would be hilarious to have. I mean, I want to see what happens next. I want a video of this. Can you imagine? Just the whitest, fluffiest dogs.
They look so clean in there.
It's going to be hilarious. And then you want to see actually what happens when you clean them. It's fantastic.
Just do a before and after video with the product. That's an amazing Facebook ad right there.
That's awesome. And as I'm coming in to land on my feedback as well, guys, but yeah, I do think your dogs are the secret weapon. The other thing as well is I think you've got a great story, and I would love to know who the people are behind this. You said later on down here that you have your boy is now 22, so I'm imagining some really awesome people, a family business, and I would love to see you. I'd love to see you somewhere on this website so that I can connect with you and support you. Yeah, exactly. I say it you say centered text, I say faces. And also, I would say show up on social media. So those dogs need to show up on social media, but so do the dogs' owners. It would be great to see people so that we can really start to kind of connect with you. So that was Nectar, Body and Bath, folks. But before we continue, we have two announcements. First announcement is, if you wanted to know what the code was for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, then please do head on over to... am I showing... Oh, no, let's show it. Oh, it's across the bottom. Oh, no, there it is. There we go. cloudways.com/en/promo-code.php. We will also put a link, if it's not already been added, to the comments. You will get notified of what the special code is. Also, can I encourage you to go to the URL bit.ly/GEG-2020, because let's remind you that Cloudways have partnered with some of the biggest names in the industry to bring you the tool, themes, and plugins you need for 2021 to make it a great success for your business. Each entry brings you closer to winning a big chunk of this year's cake. And let's face it, we all like cake.
I want
Visit
some cake right now.
bit.ly/GEG-2020 so that you can get an opportunity to check out all of these wonderful prizes and providers, which was
Thanks
awesome.
for talking about cake, Lee. I'm in a 40-hour fast.
Sorry, mate. Let's just... Can we just, before we wrap up, just enjoy, like, this dog?
Yep.
Oh.
So cute.
Where else? Let's. Oh, this is that's great. Seeing people that could be family member. I don't know. That's good. But that dog. I mean, they're going to be gazillionaires if they just have that dog everywhere.
Dogs. Those dogs. Seriously.
Well, that's pretty much us, folks. Folks, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you as well for the comments that we've received. We did plan 3 sites, but we had so much to say just about those 2 that we will ensure that the 3rd site that we had is put onto our next schedules. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted. Please continue to submit your websites. Remember, you do need to submit your website every single month if you still want a chance to have your website reviewed. Do remember that if you want to access the promo code for Cyber Monday/Black Friday, check out that URL. If you want the opportunity to win prizes, check out that URL. Both of those will be in the comments. Before we go, let's do our wrap up with each and every person. So let's start with Peacher. How can people connect with you?
You're muted.
Not unmuted yet. Peacher is saying Lee is awesome. I think Lee is the best.
Exactly. I was saying that. Don't bother
Cool.
getting in touch with me. Get in touch with Lee. And on LinkedIn at the moment. Pete Chaneri on LinkedIn. Please connect there. I'd be delighted to connect with you.
Awesome. Jan, how about yourself?
The Facebook group WP Mastery is the best place.
Awesome. And then for me, agencytrailblazer.com. Folks, if you got this far, well done. You're awesome. Let us know with a few emojis or a GIF. Also, if you are watching the replay, let us know. Final reminder, if you want to get part of the action, check out bit.ly/GEG-2020. You don't need to put the fire in there. So, folks, all that's left for us to do is, I guess, cheesy wave.